Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to start decorating my box. Everyone was thinking it was a hat box or a wig box, quite possibly. I thought that was a pretty good suggestion on what this may have been in its time, but everything's covered. I've gone around and attached fabric to all black surfaces, so now I can embellish with fabrics, laces and stitching. What I'm thinking design-wise is I really enjoy doing the villages in Susanna's panel Village Life. You guys are still watching that unfold, but I really enjoyed doing little houses. So I'm thinking of making some little houses to sort of go around the perimeter. That's as far as I've got. Not sure what I'm doing on top there. As I sort of sat down at the table, I had thought maybe the houses could come together with a peak. You know, the roof of the houses would meet in the middle. But I don't know. I sort of, last night, thinking about it, this was a floral display because it sort of feels like it could be a series of flowers, or I don't know about that. At the moment, I have one thing sure, I want to do some little houses. So I did a bit of a measurement around the circumference of it, and I think if my little houses were about 2.5 inches wide, it would roughly work placement wise. So I need a backing fabric. Let me just move that out of the way. And I've got sitting to one side of me here the tartan fabrics, the checks, some plain fabrics and some random laces. So that's where we're at, the beginning of something. So today I'm going to make some little houses. So the height of these little houses need to be no more than that. And we're going to need a few. I don't know how many I'll get done on video, but at least I can get it started. Maybe the top of the lid could be floral and little houses. I don't know. At the moment, I'm thinking I'll make them independent of each other. Then I can collage them, like make them into elements that can be used wherever I want to place them. And if I've got spare left over, like I haven't exactly been very exact with this, I'm not too concerned because I'll use them somewhere. I'll just make a series of little houses. Okay, we got 4. We're going to do a bit of mass making here. Let's have a look at some of these fabrics. That's a good one. I thought I had some scraps. Where can we sit them so they're in view but out of my way a little bit? I thought I had some scraps of some of these fabrics lying around, but I haven't yet found them. My craft room is coming together, like as in settling into the new craft room. And some of the pieces of furniture that I plan to use to help me consolidate, store, make my life a little bit more efficient have arrived. So I've been flat packing and creating, which has been fun. I'm not adverse to flat pack, like I don't mind it, but it's tedious when you've got 4 units that you want to put together to create, you know, a piece. And it's like you get one done and it's a novelty. You get on to the second one. I'll fold this fabric up later, wasting you guys your time. I'm going to keep it very neutral, I think. This little guy. But it's coming together. So what's been happening in my world? Not a lot. Luckily, we've had some rain through the week because I had turf laid last week. So Bandit, Pepper and I were chasing sprinklers around to try and keep the turf, well, get the turf started, which has happened. It is through roots. Gosh, within 3 days there were little white roots going down, which is good. They said to water 3 times a day to get it established, but my goodness, that was just like sodden. So I didn't really do that. I was a bit naughty. I sort of felt like it was sort of taking just fine. So I was doing it as I felt it needed it, and it really was good. I might do a little roof out of this guy. Yeah, so turf is established. I have 4 garden beds, so I'm racking my brains on what I can plant. Each garden bed is in a very different environment, so it's not like I can sort of do one thing suits everything, but that's okay because I like the idea of having a bit of variety in my garden. So I'm slowly understanding the environment. That looks very similar to that. I don't like that. Let's put it on that one. It's a little bit too matchy-matchy. I might go that way. That's a good start. And we need something a bit paler. Yep. Could do some lacy ones. Get a little bit of texture into some of these roofs. So what else have I been doing? Pretty much every box is unpacked. Like I put in a stellar effort. I can't stand things piling up around the place, so I'm very quick to get boxes sorted and unpacked, and you won't see them sitting around the house for months on end because I sort of just want to get it into its position. If anything, I'm probably a bit quick and everything gets squished into cupboards, and then 9 years later I find that it's still sitting in those positions, hasn't been used. And if I had have taken a little more time thinking about everything and its placement, where'd the roof go? There it is. I may not have even kept it. I would have passed it on to a thrift store or sold it for a few coins. So the benefit of being fast, but the downside of being too fast, and I could probably declutter a little bit more than I have. But anyway, doesn't matter. Pepper and Bandit have settled in nicely. I've got some lovely photos I can put at the end of the video of them just relaxing on the grass overlooking the lake and the views. The big birds are driving them a little bit nutty. They've never seen huge, big white birds. I'm not sure what they are. They're some form of seabird, but they're probably, if you were standing, their head would be just below your thigh. So that's probably been quite interesting for them, especially Bandit. Pepper's very quick to go, oh yeah, whatever, that's a bird. But Bandit's like, what is that? He's still got that pup about him. That, I've never seen that before in my life, but Pepper's a little bit more chilled like that. They've been really good with the humans that have been walking. I was a little bit concerned that they might, woof and carry on like a pork chop, and I don't know, it's not very pleasant when you're trying to walk your own dog and there's a dog or a couple dogs at a fence line barking at you. I don't mind 1 bark, 2 barks, but then that's it. That's just to let me know that someone's there. But to have some dog woofing at you the whole time while you're trying to pass, you know, it's a bit inconsiderate for them to do that, I think. But they've been pretty good. They're doing the 2 barks and then go and sit down and just watch. So they're definitely just sounding the alarm. And Pepper's got a bit of form because when she was in Brisbane, she would get so wound up. I'm sure you remember it from the videos. She'd go, you know, woof, woof, woof all the way along the back patio until she got to the side of the house. And then by then can spot the walkers. Everyone in the street is woofing and carrying on like hounds out of control. But she doesn't have that here. We're a little bit away from other houses, so she just doesn't get that wound up bark, which is great. So I'm really pleased about that because that was a little bit obnoxious, if I do say so. A little bit on the rude side. One more. So we've got some stripes here. So yeah, everyone is settled in. We're unpacked. The grass is growing. I've got a pile of dirt where I'm building a garden bed, 4 piles around the property. I've sugarcane mulched them because it's pretty basic country here, a lot of sand and bought in soil, and I've got no worms at all. So I'm going to sugarcane mulch everything and then sit back and have a think about my plants and what I'd like to plant in them. And hopefully some worms will come along and bring my soil to life. That's a really big check. I don't know, it might be too big for the roof. No, let's just do it. Don't overthink it, girl, just do it. So yeah, that's the next thing. Some areas are in full sun, which is great. Other areas are sheltered for about 4 or 5 hours a day. Then I just threw the roof away. Oh no, I didn't. So it's really about figuring the environment out, which will happen. Today I need to go into town, into Hervey Bay, which is our closest town, and go to the hardware store and get some picture hooks. What am I doing? Going this way. Yeah, get some picture hooks so I can hang a few things. Gaz is heading back to Brisbane for a couple of days. He's going to mow the grass at the house in Brisbane. Give the place a bit of a sweep out from the open house that we had on the weekend. I haven't told you about that. That went reasonably well. We had 12 parties through and 2 lots of neighbours, which is fine because I asked them to go through and spy and listen. See if they heard anything. So one neighbour nearly missed it. He come in late and just basically ran through the house, and really there was no one there to spy and listen to. He's funny. But yeah, so we've got out of those 12, 2 are interested parties, but they're not ready to buy. One has sold a property she inherited on Stradbroke Island, and also has her property up the road, which is acreage that's being bought by a developer to be cut up into, I got the impression it sounded like an old farm. And they were late middle-aged couple. We spotted them walking through the house, and you could just tell that they were interested. So they have to settle the farm to the developer at the end of June. So they're technically not ready to purchase. having said that, when I'm filming this, it's Tuesday for me, and we've had a public holiday on the Monday. So whether they've told the agent the basics and they can move forward, I don't know. Maybe by the time you guys are watching this video, I may have an offer from them. I don't know their personal circumstances. All I know is the bits and pieces that they've told the agent as they were, looking at their property. So that's the first one. The second group is a combined family, and they are known to all of our neighbours because he is a basketball coach at one of the local schools, and all the kids in the street are somehow connected to basketball. So the kids knew their kids, because when our two neighbours left our property at the end, this will say the combined family, they were all still in the house. They'd been there an hour, and there was mum who was recording a video, and then there was the couple with the kids. And the couple, the dad, he's the one that's connected. He's the basketball coach. And do I worry about straight lines? No, stop, Corrine, just keep going. So they are really, really keen. And of course, when they went to their car at the end of the open house, my neighbours were still drifting out of the house, and the kids all recognised each other. So they stood for another hour chatting on the footpath, which was quite funny to watch because we could see it on the security cameras. So here's all our neighbours standing for an hour chatting to this couple. So we guessed that they all knew each other, which they turned out they did. And they are very, very keen, because it turns out over the weekend, on the Sunday or the Monday, they went to visit another neighbour in our street, directly opposite, who they know really well. And our neighbour had actually alerted them to the property coming on the market, because they knew they were wanting to join the two households together, the grandma and the family. So our place would be suitable for that. So they were around having a bit of a chat to them on the weekend about the place. And I got a message from the third neighbour and say, hey, there's another couple interested, and just asking a few general questions. And I said, oh, by any chance, is it the basketball family? She said, yes. So we thought we might have had a third buyer, but we don't. It's the same basketball combined family. Now, he wants to set up a basketball clinic, so an indoor basketball court, where he can keep coaching kids and, other than using the school, they're chasing each other. Bandit's got a piece of sugarcane mulch in his mouth, like a stick in there, goosing around. That's what that's about. That I can handle. They're not woofing at anyone. Yeah, so this gentleman wants to start a small business from home, or continue coaching kids, and they have a big enough house that grandma can move in as well. So that's their story. So yeah, we've got the farmer story, and we've got the basketball coach people. So that's the two main interested party, all of which aren't quite ready. Oh, the basketball family, what I forgot to mention is they have 3 houses between them, between grandma and the family, to sell before they can purchase. And those 3 houses went on the market Saturday. So, yeah, don't know how it'll all play out. Just grabbing a little bit of plain fabric to create maybe a door. So we've got 2 good interested parties, of which aren't ready to actually buy. So don't know what that'll mean timeline wise. And then the third party Now, this is from what I understand, a buyer's advocate or a buyer's agent. He arrived quite late. He raced in the door like a bull at a gate, and he asked if he could film the house, and he walked around with his camcorder and filmed the property. And then we found out later that he was filming it because he was presenting the property to someone else or others, or adding it to his portfolio. I don't know. The agent really didn't get much time to talk to him. He was sort of just busy filming and then was done and gone. So who knows what that will lead to. We sort of didn't really get to find much out there. Who else was there? The rest were just all lookers. The agent said that statistically in their office, out of every 15 viewers, they should get 2 interested parties out of every 15. So I thought that was interesting. He said we've had 12 and we've got potentially 3, but we don't really know much about that agent. What they call it, buyer's advocate, shopping on behalf of others. Could be someone overseas. Don't know. So yeah, not bad. The feedback was good on pricing. Well, we didn't really set a price because we didn't know, but we've sort of picked a category of pricing. But what we do know is how much it would be to replace the property, because having just built our house at Burrum, we're sort of pretty up to speed on the cost of laying a driveway and sheds, and yeah, so we know how much it is to replace it, and we've sort of used that as our guide and then created like a price bracket for them to shop within. And when we could hear the agent, because I put little temporary cameras through the property in spots where I thought conversation might happen, like sneaky girl, aren't I? But I tell you, it was handy because we could hear comments and, well, sort of, as they turned their back, it was sort of muffled. So we picked up bits and pieces. And it was really positive. Everyone liked the house, and quite a lot of them thought it was brand new. It's actually 9 years old. So that was nice to know that it was presented well. It presented well. One guy complained there wasn't a hook to hang your towel on in the main bathroom, which we thought was funny. Oh, one guy opened my fridges. I've got a freezer that's just a single standing freezer, and then I've got a fridge that has freezer and fridge, just 2 doors. And he opened each door, 3 doors, and looked inside. I thought that was a bit odd. Who does that? Who cares? You're going through someone's house looking to buy it and you open their fridge. Yeah, anyway, each to their own, I guess. One lady asked the agent if the furniture came with the house. She seemed to understand that we had, moved out, but was inquiring, the furniture left. What's, happening? Well, yes, we've moved out, but not everything's moved out. Plus, we've hired a company to put in some furniture around the patio areas and my old craft room to make it look like a rumpus room. So she put in a rectangular, those corner couches, a little coffee table and a bench under my TV that I used to use to, film. And then on the back patios, she put a scattering of seating and a table, and then just rearranged a few pieces that I had in the house to sort of, stretch things out, because I had taken the bulk of the furniture out of the place. they did a reasonably good job. It was pretty inexpensive. I thought it'd be really expensive to have they call them staging companies here in Australia. Yeah, I thought it'd be quite expensive to have a company do that. But no, it wasn't. It was pretty good. And considering that the bulk of our home was gone, it's really helped to give the place, a little bit of character. So I think we've got her furniture for 4 weeks, but that's negotiable. If it's still on the market in 4 weeks, which possibly will be, we can have the furniture a little bit longer. So yeah, that's the selling the house so far. No contract, no action yet, but by the time you watch this video, I think this video is coming up on Saturday. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at my little diary for a little while. So I'm not sure when you guys will be seeing this. But I'll keep you posted. It's all very exciting. Be good if it sells. I'm feeling a little stretched at the moment. It'd be nice to know it's sold. And, usually you sell your house and pack up and move and then you're in. And it feels like we've been moving house and prepping a house for ages, considering I think it was October that the builder gave us this house here that we're in now. So it just feels like I've been moving forever. So as you can see, as I yibby yabber away here, am I even recording? Oh yeah. I'm just doing some basic little house constructions here. And then I'll get the laces and we'll add some little trimming bits and pieces. So that's about all my news. I haven't been doing a lot of stitching because I had pre-recorded Botanical Beauties and Autumn is chugging along. So it's really the Roxy prompt that is my daily stitching at the moment and my way of keeping you guys up to speed on what I'm actually doing, because others' videos have been, made in advance. While I was still in Brisbane, I was quickly trying to film ahead so that I had the month of May pretty much done. And of course, the prompt from Vintage Blend Studios, which is the little deer for the calendar, which I'm making into a scrappy box. Once we get through a couple more months and a few more critters join my side panels. So that series is done. So yeah, it's just the Roxy project. This one I'll have plenty to play with. It'll give me my Christmas, I was going to say, my stitching fix. The, what was I going to say? Oh, next week I've got my Fleur Woods course back in Brisbane. So that'll be my turn to go back to the house in Brisbane, give it a clean. Wonder if I could use that. It seems a bit wide. Maybe I come down a little bit in size. How about you? You're cutie. Yeah, so I think that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is the Fleur Woods course. So I'm really looking forward to that. Be lovely to meet Fleur. Having done the online course and thoroughly enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed listening to Fleur. It'll be lovely to sit in person with her, bit of a fan, bit of a groupie. What else have we got here? I need some more lace. That one I'll do. So I'm just going to then embellish with these little guys. So this little fellow here I could do with a chimney, hey? A chimney. We need a chimney. Getting messy. What could we use? Maybe a little bit of that. So big week next week. So I'll probably get cracking with this project. Now I'm going to trim back. It's time for that base fabric just to push back a little bit. I will get cracking with my little houses here and try and film a couple videos. I don't know. I need to get my calendar out and see where I'm at with it all. Can't go too high. I've got to be a bit mindful that it's, you know, going on the side of a box. Where's my box? See? Got to be a bit mindful of the height of that lid. So we need some cotton now. There's a little bit in that already. And just invisible stitch down. These little pieces of lace. And that is a very simple construction of organic looking little house. Nothing's too scale, it's just abstract construction of little decorative elements on little houses is what I'm thinking. As for the top, I don't know. Once I get my houses made, I'm thinking where the houses don't fit on that shape of the box, I'll collage scrappy bits of lace in there. And I'm thinking of going along the lines of this crocheted type element, you know, pieces like that, and just cut them in to fit. I won't be able to stitch them in there. They will be just glued into position with a fabric glue. And then the little houses will lay in over that, is how I'm thinking it'll go. I might put a button on the roof of this little house. Let's get this chimney into position too. I've got my container of buttons just sitting here. I picked these up locally and they're real old girls. So there'd have to be something in here. You can see all the thread is still on them, which I just love. Might do that one. Oh. Okay, just need a couple stitches to hold him. Let's not go overboard. It's not like it's a used button. And let's do the chimney next. I'm thinking a blue thread for him. So I'm just alternating between creams and the blues. This little card of threads was in my Japanese Boro bag Like I've got in here some threads that I thought would be perfect tones. Let's just get this tacked down. And then that's one little house completed. So you get the general gist of how these are going to go together. Mass makes the way to go. Go and do all the windows next and all the doors. I'll try and make them all a little bit different too. Different but similar. I think there's going to be some great box covering activities come out of this prompt. It's a very good prompt because it's really open to lots of things. And thanks too for all the tips for working with that expandable sewing caddy. And the best one that come out of it, a few of you suggested instead of having to sand it to get rid of that varnish, use chalk paint, which I thought was brilliant. So when I go into the hardware store, I'm going to have a look at some chalk paint and give it a coat of paint. I don't know still if I'll get it done this month, but it'll definitely pop up at some point when I'm looking for a project to do. I'll be like, right, it's time to tackle. Time to tackle the sewing caddy. If you've just tuned in, I don't have it close by hand. It has my grandmother's crocheting cottons in it, and it's got the lids that open out like, it looks like a toolbox. Hubby's got some toolboxes in the shed that do a similar action. Can make a great restoration project. These little houses are fiddly. I do big stitches instead of little stitches. I wonder if I do a bit of a loose satin stitch. Give the impression that it's got slats or lines. Like sketching, isn't it? Where you're just putting a few stitches to give the impression of something. Well, these little houses are going to keep me busy for a while. I haven't really worked out how many I officially need, but it's all good. Emails dropping in, it's always something, isn't it? When the process of taking our computer system for the shops across to the cloud, like heaven forbid, the cloud, where it used to be on a hard drive, like a server, and the stores would connect in to a server to get onto the system to, enable them to open up cash registers and email and, everything. And it was always the threat of security because probably about 10 years ago, we got hacked and It was what they call ransomware. So they didn't actually take any data because there was no real data to take. But what they did is they locked our system down, and then a ransom message appeared on the screen. It was this elephant. He was a cute looking elephant. I didn't like him, and by the end of it, yeah, it was this elephant and a message at his feet to say, you have been locked down for a fee of, I think it was $3,000. You will be given the key to unlock your computer system. Till then, you were being held for ransom. Couldn't believe it. Don't know how we got the virus or the ransom program. But then within a month or two of us being done, heaps of people were being done. So it was just something that was going around. I feel like I could do with some little flowers or something on the little house. Just something random in here. What have we got in our little... This is my tray of bits and pieces that I've had on my desk for ages, and I've bought a cabinet that has a heap of these baskets, and I'm sort of slowly making these my scrap baskets. So you'll see these pop up now. I'm sort of thinking... I think I might get into the embellishing side another time. Just get the houses made, girl. I'm thinking along the lines of just, you know, build them all. Get the construction of them done. So this little guy's next. How are we going for time? I could spend hours fiddling around with this. I got a little bit of time. So let's get some thread again, and the same thing. I'm just going to outline it to secure the layers to the back, add some windows and doors, a little bit of lace. Well, there's a piece of lace that fell out of the box that's going on there. It's tatting. So that's the plan. Let's get the roof stitched down. These would be good to fiddle around with. I always love the first week of all of the Roxy prompts coming out, what all the other creators are thinking of doing. It's really cool to see what ideas everyone's got. Nearly every morning there's a video pops into your feed to say, oh, such and such has now got her video up, and it's like, oh, what's she thinking? It's very good. And then sit back and watch everything evolve as the month rolls through. Come on. If anyone's got any suggestions of what I should do on the lid, throw it in the comments, because there might be just something you say that triggers an idea for me. At the moment I'm thinking a flower, but I don't know, maybe the feature is the side and I tone it down on the top and just do a slow stitched piece, you know, with the fabric and stitches. And I don't know. No rush. Something will come along. Always does. Once you start playing. Let's get rid of that little pin. By having this base fabric and then the house fabric in behind the roof, it's just helping add layers. Makes it feel, you know, sturdy in my hand. So now we're going to shoot down the side. Checks are great. It gives you some lines to follow, doesn't it? I'm thinking the windows on this one and the door might be lace instead of fabric. Whip along the bottom. So these aren't going to take too long. They're a little bit fiddly, but I think if I mass make, I probably need at least half a dozen, maybe 6 in total. What have I got here? 4. Okay. Right, so let's find something lacy to create some doors. Well, one door and a window. We can trim. Actually, what I should have done before to support that is left the fabric on the back and then trim it out. So that would have given that little piece of fabric a little bit more support. Like stitch that now, decoratively stitch it, then cut it all out, and that gives that whole roof structure a little bit more structure. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so I'm looking for, in my bucket of tricks here, something I can use for a window that is solid. It's not quite enough, and that's just going to fall apart. I need something something lacy. That might work. It's probably too big. All right, I think that'll work. It's going to have a big front door. Don't think I like it. I'm just going to trim this down a bit. I feel like my house is a bit out of proportion. Yeah, that's a bit better. I won't trim around that little chimney yet. I just want to I don't mind it. It's probably a bit big. Maybe we use it as a window. Looks like it's got shutters then. There we go. That'll work. And we need a door. Maybe I can just use some of these scraps sitting here. Yeah. There we go. Some blue stitching on that. That'll look a treat. So to speed things up a little bit, girl, we might just pull in another house and pin in some little elements. We won't use that tatting on that, so we'll leave him there. Put the tatting on that one. If I pin it, you guys can at least see a bit of an idea of how the little house will come together. And I'll do the stitching as my homework. Could do with a blue door on this one. Maybe there's some blue fabric, little scrappy bits in the Japanese. Yeah, that's a bit of blue. Scrappy little houses, I love them. What I could do then is start building them into a bigger piece that fits in a certain location. So it'd be another piece of fabric with lace and, you know, backgrounds. And then these get stitched onto that to create a panel that will fit in a certain spot. That's how I'm thinking of proceeding with the placement of them. But I don't know. Just get them made first, girl. And work out the logistics. What about a lacy chimney on that guy? Yeah. Okay. I'll cut that. I won't cut it yet. Don't cut it yet. Got to stitch it first. Okay, so let's do a little blue chimney. I'll tuck it in behind. Make it look a bit different. Okay, so we need a front door. I like that lace too. Maybe we turn that lace up. Just fits. Yep, just fits. Might as well use that scrappy bit. Now, front door. A spot I've used a few times. Maybe this. Crooked doors. Do one there again in the middle. Or maybe slightly over. Gotta make them all look a little bit different. And then maybe 2 windows. That looks silly. They're so out of proportion. The tops of the windows should be in line with the top of the door. Isn't that how it works? For all you builders out there, you'd be looking at them going, it's not how you do a house. This is like a child has drawn the house, just a basic. Okay. Alrighty, I think I've got enough to toddle off and stitch. little scrappy bits back. So you hardly use anything. I really love this too. I really want a piece of this. But I think it's just too big. It'll have to come onto the box itself, I think. Maybe some of the areas where we get that in along here can be collaged little scraps with a bit of stitching and just slowly build it up that way. I'm thinking. Who knows? We've got all of the month of May to fiddle around with our piece. Okay, guys, I'm going to toddle off and I'll probably make, I think, another 2. Get them all stitched, and I'll put them in a photo at the end of this video. If I forget, I'll show you in the next video what we do, but we'll see how we go. All right, guys, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you when I see you next. Bye.